Well, I thought I'd take you to lunch today. Out in the tropical woods. And here we are. Grub's great. And I've just prepared it on my newly constructed alcohol burner stove, the Scoutforlife alcohol burner. I've had some interest from some of my subscribers on how to make that. So in this video, I'm going to do a build along of that. I'm going to try and keep it not too boring and not too long. Come back and join me for lunch towards the end of it. We'll finish up. Another first for me today is the US Army, U.S.G.I. issue mess kit. So I'll be giving a few comments on that. I'm very excited actually to have it. So this is the first time this has been used for my bushcraft. It's the first time for the stove, and there's a third first. I'm actually shooting some of this on GoPro, and I've never shot a YouTube video on a GoPro before. So it's what could possibly go wrong? Shown here are some of the things you'll need for this project, including the pen that doesn't usually work that's kept by the phone. First, scratch out the base of the iced tea can with an ice pick. Keep going round and round, be patient. Have a glass handy to save the iced tea, because you're going to be thirsty having done your spirit stove project. You've broken through the base of the iced tea tin. Just carefully prise it out with your ice pick and smooth the edges with a piece of sandpaper. Then take your pieces of plywood, about 3/4 of an inch in thickness. Place your knife on the top and use this as a marking tool, a scoring tool. So hold the can steady, the base flat on something flat, and then turn the can so that just the tip of the knife scores the tin. If you're patient and you keep at it, you'll keep scoring until finally the base comes away. Just round the edges, flare the edges out, the handle of the ice pick if it's round. You can use the end of the can to help enlarge the piece that you've just cut off. Then it's time to work on the other end of the can. Same process, use the plywood base to score it. This is the alternative method for cutting the end off the can using a pair of scissors. Notice that I'm working at the bottom of the piece of can, and I'm following the line that's been scored from the inside. Of course, Mum's best needlework scissors are the only thing that will really do a good job here. Here are the two parts that will be pressed together over the other smaller part to form the stove. Now on to the deodorant can. This line here, this gold line on this particular one, is where to cut. And this ridge at the top of the can is where to make the second cut. I ensure that the aerosol is completely empty before I make any cuts. Having made the scores, I can just help it along a bit with my pocket knife, and this makes the center component. The components before they've been smoothed off and how they go together. Now to smooth the lip on the centerpiece and make the indentations that will create the jets for the stove. Take a piece of masking tape and wrap it entirely around the circumference at the ridge. Mark it and then unwrap it again. Then divide up into equal parts the total length, and in this case it happens to be 16 centimetres, so it's 16 equal divisions. The tape back onto the centrepiece, and this will mark where the indentations will go that will form the jets. Find a piece of dowel or a piece of plastic pipe the right diameter to fit inside the centre component, and then using a screwdriver or something else with a blunt tip, press down just on the apex of the ridge at the marks that we'd already put on using the pen. And this is what the finished jets should look like. Next, with the end of a pair of scissors, just start tweaking little crimps in the edge of the bottom of what will be the stone. And this is just to narrow it and make fitting the parts together a little easier. And then test fit it before you actually go for the real thing. Here I've included a little bit of fiberglass insulation. I don't do that with all my stoves, but I thought I'd do it with this. When the pieces are ready to press together, apply even pressure and keep turning the item 90 degrees. Don't move any more, it's already home. And there it is, the finished item, the Scoutforlife alcohol stove. Time for a test run then. You'll notice I'm using small amounts of alcohol for the first test, and that I'm standing the remaining alcohol well out of the way. The centre is lit for the preheat, and then as the stove gets hotter, you'll see the main jets start to bloom, if they're working properly, around the edges. And you can see the centre flame there has pretty much gone out, and the jets are the only thing that remain. Starting to grow now as the temperature increases. A pint of water came to a rolling boil in around about 4 minutes using this stove. Now while I build these stoves, there are dangers associated with them, and I wouldn't encourage others to do so. The flames are very hard to see in daylight, and relighting a hot stove that has gone out will undoubtedly result in an explosion. For this reason, Boy Scouts of America have actually banned these stoves. Anyway, let's see how lunch is doing. Here's the new Spirit stove. You can hear the guys on the shooting range next door. That's the gunfire in the background, so I need to take cover. We're on the right end of it. And the much maligned U.S. issue mess set. What do we got today? Pepper chicken with jasmine rice. Now you'd think by looking at that that was M.R.E's, meals ready to eat, used by the militaries the world over. But it isn't. In fact, it's a boil in the bag meal that you can get here. But it's the same thing, of course. You don't get the variety of flavours that you would maybe with M.R.E, but it's the same thing. Easy to do, no fuss, no muss, some boiling water, and hopefully some hot food. I've heard good and I've heard bad about the American mess tins, U.S.G.I. issue mess tins. Granted, they're not supposed to be used for cooking in, but of course I'm sure everybody does. Of course, I'm sure everybody does, including the GIs. They're really meant as a kind of a chow kit. Go and collect your food in the canteen. But I can see a lot of potential for them, for what I want to do. I think they're great for bushcrafting because they're stainless steel, they're almost indestructible. I mean, I've seen guys on YouTube with mess kits dating from 1945 and before. So that's a testament to how long they'll last. The other thing I like about them is that they pack quite flat. They've got quite a flat profile, unlike the NATO issue tins, which is what I've probably used the most out of everything. On the menu today, we've got chicken curry and jasmine rice. And I'm hungry. Oh yeah. I try and leave the tab on these packets so that they don't get lost and end up in the woodland. Well, that doesn't look half bad. I shouldn't say that's roughing it at all. Bon appetit. Yum yum. So I was thinking, I wanted to do a bit of a series of things and call it What's in the Bag. It seems to me there's an insatiable curiosity that all us YouTubers have about what everybody else is carrying in their bag. Whether it be their bushcraft bag or their fishing bag or their food bag. And I thought I'd start what's in the bag with, well, safety first, what's in the first aid kit. So on the next one I'm going to show you what is in Scoutforlife's first aid kit. Not only that, but actually how it's put together, because it's a little bit different. It's not just a pouch. Really expensive, really easy to do, and really handy to use. So next time I'll show you that. Of course, the other good thing about this system is that the water that you've done your boil in the bag in is your washing up water to clean your kit afterwards. It's a win-win situation. Here it is. Here's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to give the brand name because I don't know what the situation is with advertising, but to give you a hint, the name suggests that they've got 88 flavours. This one's the Thai red curry. Must be something I'm doing wrong, because I never managed to get these things to look quite like they do on the wrapper. But anyway, the other good thing about this is it comes with a BPA-free microwavable container to eat it from. So the 2 pouches are stowed in that. I've eaten them. And it comes with a spoon as well. You can't beat that. You can't beat it. So there it is. That's an M.R.E. that you can pick up in the supermarket if you keep your eyes peeled. There's all sorts of goodies in supermarket that are very suitable for bushcrafting if you keep your eye out. The other thing is that this has a pack life of weeks, unrefrigerated, so on expedition you can be days in and still enjoy a well put together meal. And I've got to say, they're not half bad at all, they're very good. All the flavours that I've tried, no complaints. So we've got to be real careful in the bush nowadays, because it's coming towards the end of dry season. Everything here is essentially a tinderbox. It's a fire waiting to happen, and indeed we've had a lot of bushfires over the last few weeks, quite extensive ones up the mountainside, etc. So I certainly don't want to be the instigator of one of those, so I'm particularly careful what I'm doing here. Well, lunch is great. Thanks for coming along. You might notice that the tropical forest is looking very different at the end of dry season than it did when I shot the bamboo fire saw video. We've had very little rain, very desperate for rain here. But all that will change shortly, and I'm sure we'll have more rain than we know what to do with. Anyway, till next time, keep safe in the woods, and if you like this, then don't forget to like it.